So I'm on normal mode as SNT5 because it's my first time playing it. Just want to see how it's going. I played for an hour on it. It's actually pretty fun so far. I like the tone. Like, it's very reminiscent of SMT3. Like, it does feel like a sequel from SMT3. So yeah, I'm enjoying SMT5 so far. So this is the article in question, is it? The small box deposited the pawnbroker by Mr. McGilda 2 months ago. And on the night of Mr. Winniebank's murder, the only item that shows that was touched by whoever broke into the shop. Quick, let's open and see what's inside. What? Is it a thing for... Oh, so this is a music box. Wow, although in truth an inkling that might be the case. It would appear that the box houses a miniature music box movement. Then, is it too much to expect? I think it would be reasonable to assume that it's a device or the playback of this disc, my lord. So, here we have the means to playback Mr. McGilda's disc, deposited at Winniebank's at much the same time. Not strictly correct, my lord. It was not McGilda's disc. It was the disc of his victim in the omnibus. But why, for heaven's sake? Are we to understand that Brickmaker is trying to sell this music box disc to Mr. McGilda? I'll raise my hand. I believe the answer becomes clear if we listen to the music on the disc, my lord. Yes, very well. Let the court now listen to this curious disc at last. Wait, my lord. Good grief, what's the meaning of this, Inspector? The music box and disc are, well, they're unrelated in this case. Hold it! No one needs to spoil the somber atmosphere in the courtroom with some silly bit of music. This may very well have motivated the culprit in this case to commit murder. Clearly, there's every chance this is fundamentally important to understanding what happened. The prosecution has no objection. Hold it! Clearly, Scotland Yard has some vested interest here, but it's the policy of this prosecutor to leave no avenues unexplored. And you, Inspector, have no jurisdiction here to prevent that from happening. Guard! No further delays, please. Play the disc. Play it! I'm curious. Like, what is it? What on earth? That's certainly not what I would call music. Is it freaking Morse code? No. It's just signal playing over and over again in irregular sequences. Morse code, isn't it? Dot dot dash 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 dot. Mr. Graydon? This really is priceless. After all that, the music box is broken. Broken? It can't be, can it? It's Morse code, isn't it? Oh, obviously. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the officer sent to fetch it didn't drop it on the way back to the courtroom. It's Morse code. It's like dot dot dash. Well, with much regret, I feel the court must accept this music box offers little in the way of clues. It's Morse code. It's Morse code. Are we ready to move on, Counsel? No, come on. Yes, alright, it sounds as completely broken, but is it? Could this music emanate from the music box possibly a new clue? It could be a clue. It could be a freaking Morse code. I believe that could be relevant, my lord. Good lord, but how can it be? It's an abomination, Counsel, more than mere noise. I fail to see how it can have any meaning whatsoever. It does sound strange, I agree, but there's one thing bothering me. While Graydon stands there trolling victoriously, the instructor beside him has a rather telling expression on his face. It's as if Gregson recognizes the sound, as if he's familiar with it somehow, and that's making him appear extremely on edge. If that's the stance of the defense, my Nepalese friend, answer me does. Oh! Just what relevance do you propose this woeful chiming has on this case? Dun 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 dun. It's the defense's belief that the sound emanating from its music box is not supposed to be music. Just because it's a music disc, it doesn't necessarily mean the sounds you're hearing are music. Look at that. The smile flashed and raised his lips as soon as he said it. I'm on the right lines here. I must be. Heh, making deductions based on how people react to what you say. You're acting just like Hurley, Runo. Objection! The sounds you're hearing aren't necessarily music. Well, now that you told us what they are not. I'm sure the court would like to hear what they are. Do enlighten us, my Nipponese friend. Well, surely I have an idea in mind, because if not, Morse code! It will be the death of your ill-formed argument. Exactly. Whoops, my chair got a creak there. The music box is clearly broken, refusing to accept the practice pure foolishness. They got me. I don't know what the answer is yet. Bruno. I've just examined the music box very thoroughly. And I'm fairly certain that it's not broken at all. Really? Really, the way it's been made, it can only produce a single note anyway. Thank you, Iris. It's Morse code. Dot, dot, dash. Dot, dot, dash. Dash, dash, dot. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. Alright, well, the music box isn't broken. It must mean that the sounds it's producing have significance that isn't musical. Dun, 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 dun. Ah! Could it be? Is that what these sounds are? Morse code! Something just struck me, Reno. I feel like recently, in the past few hours even, I've heard another sound very much like the one this music box makes. The other music box? Actually, Iris, I was just thinking exactly the same thing. I'm going to press the defense for an answer. If your assertion is that the sound produced by the music box is not in fact music at all, then what the devil is the council? All the evidence you've seen so far, all the testimony you heard, it's all pointing to one single answer now. The prosecution demands that my learned Nipponese run presents proof now. Tangible proof, this latest wild speculation. Alright then. This could be the best chance going to get to fight back in this trial. And if I'm right, it's going to join all the dots together. The evidence that explains the true nature of the sounds on this music box disc is... I was gonna present today's paper because on the back it's like talking about the Russian, the war going on with the foreign agencies, and that's why that's why the inspector was like freaking out over this. Today's paper council. The headline is Pawnbrokers perishes in Pickpocket's plunder. Hardly supportive for cause. No, my lord. I was hoping to take a little further down the page. Further down? Ministry Mole, classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice. Yes, it's a very serious matter, but being investigated at the highest level, I understand. I've heard that international transmissions along supposedly secure lines are somehow being intercepted and leaked to various other countries. And presumably, those transmissions are in the form of wired telegrams. Of course. Juror number 5, your input please. Stop. Oh, me, sir. Whatever is the matter? You told the court before that I worked at the same communication station as Mr. Graydon, did you not? Yes, that's correct. And the particular station where you work deals with government communications and newspaper reports? Oh, yes, we're not your run-of-the-mill communication station and all our work is extremely important. Then tell me, is this not a very familiar sound? You don't mean to say, is it? That's right, madame. It bears more than passing resemblance sound made by a telegraph machine as you tap it. I believe it's called Morse code. But I don't believe it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when it comes to leaking telegrams from government departments, there could be nobody more perfectly placed than a highly skilled communications officer. Are you suggesting that the music box disc contains stolen government secrets and Morse code? Order, please, everyone, order! But this This is high treason, counsel, deserving capital punishment. Too much new vocabulary. What is this treason? And what is capital punishment? Those sort of words I half expect you to know. For our foreign government's confidential information, hostile nations will surely pay almost any price. Yes, and on that night 2 months ago, there was a brand negotiation that was taking place inside the omnibus. But in the end, McGilda perished, and the all-important disc lay unclaimed in the pawnbrokery. My word! In which case, whoever stole that information in the first place must surely have been beside itself with worry, because if the disc were rediscovered, it would have found its way out of the country. It would reveal an act of high treason punishable by death. So the culprit had no choice but to retrieve it, and in order to do that, he would have to gain entry to the pawnbroker illegally in the middle of the night. Because the article left behind by Mr. McGilda would incriminate him too much if it got into the wrong hands. Isn't that right, Mr. Graydon? And you're a communications officer, so you would know the shit. You think I've been stealing government secrets? Preposterous, absolutely preposterous. You're a communications officer, like you work in the government branch along with that lady over there, juror number 5. So, in response to the defense's accusation, you claim complete innocence, do you? Well, of course I do. I've had to stand here and sign so the pretentious sworn lawyer have been prattling away.
Objection!
Then by all means, counter the charges, sir. The prosecution demands the witness testifies in response to the accusations brought by the defense. Delighted, I'm sure. The witness is reminded that the crime of the student and discharged the murder of the pawnbroker, Mr. Winniebank, that being a most flagitious offense for which the law does not sanction some capital punishment. I can't read today, but the heinous act of high treason is no less serious a crime. I urge you to bear that in mind as you testify, Mr. Graydon. So then, let's proceed, you mate. You gotta let us have a rabbit and pork, your governor. Got things to say. I beg your pardon, who do you think you are? Name Sash Skulkin. Occupation is professional baddie. Name's Rika Skulkin, but your baddie's in the cellar of Motherland. Motherland? That's right, we're what they call the 3 Skulkin brothers. Bad timing, fellas. Very bad timing. A mere communications officer couldn't possibly steal confidential government information. Besides, the sounds produced by music box aren't even Morse code. It was some low-cost brickmaker negotiating McGilda and it was not. I have no relation to the man. Look, well, all we've done is breaking the gap there, and like what he told us to. If we'd known that there was dodgy government secrets involved, we wouldn't have touched it. Mr. or Mr. Skulkin? What Mr. or Duke, Governor? What's up? Do I take it that you now admit to the crime? That on the night in question you did indeed gain entry to the premises illegally? Moreover, we did so as a part of your 3 in collaboration with Mr. Graydon here. We did, Gov, we did! Wow, did you just admit to it now? Quiet it down, please. What say you to that, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these 2 references are referring to. You little rotter, you just got messed up in his monkey business. You never said nothing about no government secrets. It was supposed to be a startup job. And what about the geezer's shop was it? Poor old Buck didn't have to die, did he? Ah, nice to know who your friends are. Friends. Fake friends. Whatever these men say, I deny the accusations. Indeed. I feel like our voices are merging together, Graydon. Well, I certainly wasn't expecting this little music box to become something so significant in proceedings. However, as it has, I will admit it to the court record as evidence. That was all. I like forgetting which voices to do. So is this newspaper headline accurate? Government communications are being intercepted? How could I possibly know? What do you mean by that? Any important government communications handled by high-level officers, by specialists, general members of staff in the station where I work would never be entrusted with sensitive information. Oh no, stop. Must say something, stop. Let me guess. Chart number 5. We regular communication station operators aren't as lousy as you're being led to believe. A team of us are responsible for setting up and testing telegraphs used by the ministry, and Mr. Graydon's the team leader. That's fascinating. You're the team leader. Graydon is highly skilled operator, stop. Currently in presence of idle, stop. So you had access to equipment used for these confidential communications, Mr. Graydon. Well, what of it? The transition is always made behind closed doors so they can't be heard. And in any case, all messages sent in cyber. Normal employees couldn't possibly understand it, but you're the freaking team leader. Oh no, stop. Must say something, stop. Mr. Graydon regularly attends meetings with ministry technicians and the ministry communications team. He assists them in ensuring that there are no errors in important international communications. And he received the top prize at the cyber cracking convention 5 years in a row now. That's fascinating. Graydon is highly skilled operating, stop. Currently in presence of idle, stop. Well, your idol would appreciate if you keep her mouth shut. She should really pick her idols more carefully. Yep. I tell you, this Lara's accusations are completely unfounded.
Hold it!
They're not? To anyone with a brain, they'll be plainly apparent on listening to music box room in a few seconds. Of course. Surely it can't be that my learned friend is unfamiliar with Morse code. Ouch, he looks just shocked at my ignorance. Ha ha ha! I'll be more than happy to demonstrate the basics for you, sir. Oh, okay. A lesson? Here in court? Morse code is a continuous series of 2 distinct tones. Dot and dash. Tones, you say? Yes, a short dot and a long dash. By combining those in different ways, you construct letters. I see. For example, this is A. And this is B. But when you listen to the sound produced by this music box, you only hear one tone, don't you? But it sounds so similar. The rhythm is the same and everything. But there's no discernible meaning to this apparently random sequence of sounds. So maybe it's like encrypted. Zero assertion is fundamentally flawed. This is not Morse code. No! Really, you shouldn't be so surprised. What did I tell you? That music was nothing but a worthless piece of scrap. Perhaps you might consider studying your subject rather before casting aspersions in future. Ugh, stop. Nothing to say, but stop. Oh, it's so frustrating, isn't it? Iris? I mean, if the government secrets of someone being leaked using the music box, why would they use like an easy to understand Morse code? They would use like a complicated and cyber kind of Morse code, wouldn't they? Because it's government secrets, so many other things slotted to place so nicely. Could there still be something I haven't considered? Oh, maybe I should like investigate the music boxes? This is the mechanism that turns the bumps on the disc into sound, isn't it? Yes, the movement is all thanks to the comb with its teeth that are plucked by the passing bumps. Usually, the teeth and the tone are different lengths so that each one produces a different tone. But this comb is very strange. All the teeth are exactly the same length. Well, what does that mean? It means that no matter which tooth is plucked by the passing bumps, the music box will make the same sound. I've never seen a music box like it before. Yes, it is strange. A music box that only play a single note. There has to be some significance to that, surely. What's this little dot here? Oh, what is it, Runo? I just noticed something about this music box. It looks like the bottom of it opens up as well. Oh, you're right. Well, come on then. What are you waiting for? Let's open it. Alright then. Here goes. Just another one? Look at that. Just another movement on the other side. So does that mean you can send our disc to play back on this side? Yes, I think so. It looks like the two modes are linked together. They're linked? So if you had two discs, they would both play back at the same time. What? Who'd have thought that there would be a second movement on the other side of the box? And this movement is like the other one. The cone's teeth are all the same length. So this movement also only produces a single sound like the other one. So what if the front side only does the dots and this other side only does the dashes? Yes, it must do, except that the length of teeth and two cones isn't the same. So the single note produced by this movement will be different to the single tone we've already heard. What? Basically, each movement can only produce a single note, but the notes they produce are different. A music box can only play two tones. Could there still be something I haven't considered? Would it be really impossible to use the music box somehow to play back Morse code? Give it a try. Why not? There's still a possibility this music is instrumental in the leaking of government secrets. That's the belief of the defense, at least.
Objection!
Does it please you so many might need to be spread to repeat the same line or argument ad infinitum? It's already been established that to be Morse code, two tones are required, dots and dashes. So the top one does the dots, and the second, the bottom one, does the dashes. Yes, I'm well aware of that. Then what? Well, it appeared that defense's hypothesis put forward. You had better present your data at once, Counsel. How do you propose that this music box, which appears to produce only a single note, could have been used to cipher secret messages through Morse code? Okay, gonna do this, and then I'll present this.
Got it!
Good gracious, what am I looking at here? Another movement on the underside of the music box? What? It appears, my lord, that the two movements are linked together. In other words, you can put two discs in the music box, and the sounds of both will play back at the same time. Good heavens! As the chord is heard, Morse code comprises of two tones, a short dot and a long dash. With a second disc in place, this music box could have been used to generate Morse code and convey a message. This is beyond the joke. I'm sorry. This poor excuse of relies absolutely no evidence to support his claims. Though, of course, if my learned friend were able to present the court with the second disc, that would be another matter. Well, I can't at the moment. But Sholmes has his caramel disc. And may I remind the court that, as the witnesses pointed out, he was not the one in the omnibus with McGilda 2 months ago striking a deal over the disc or disc. Indeed, that was Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. Exactly, it had nothing whatsoever to do with it. Then why would you try to steal it? Though it has its holes, I must admit that argument presented by the defense has much promise. I believe the cross-examination should continue. The link between Grade and the victim omnibus case must be there somewhere, but I haven't found it yet. Oh dear, looks like you need to give an argument more strength, Reno. You will reiterate your testimony, please, Mr. Graydon. If I must, though I am maintaining exactly what I did to start this pointless cross-examination.
Hold it!
So 2 months ago, the omnibus McGilda killed the brickmaker, stole the disc. Mr. Mason was a single man with almost nothing to his name. It seems he was an artisan quarter some years ago, but people there remember little about him. That doesn't make much sense though, does it? How would a humble brickmaker hunt to acquire secret government information? How indeed? There must have been somebody else involved behind the scenes in all of this. Somebody who acquired the disc and gave it to Mr. Mason, in order to take it to the meeting with McGilda and negotiate a deal. Dear me. You may have it in for me, sir, but I assure you I'm far more class than that. An old brickmaker for an artisan quarter and this well-to-do communications officer. If only I could find some evidence to link the two of them together. If you have nothing more to add, then all is returned to witness testimony.
Hold it!
Like Mr. Graydon told you to do, you mean? That's it. Yeah, who else, eh? Silly me thought he was popping over on Natter after all these years, but the rotter had the dodgy job for us. Ash? Let me stop you there, Mrs. Scullion. After all them years, you say? Do you mean to tell me that Mr. Graydon is an acquaintance of yours? We're the sociable kind of baddies, you know? Sure, let's say Grady's an old China. Would you have to say something?
Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Mrs. Skulkin? Eh? No, the other Mrs. Skulkin. The Mario over there. What? Who? Me? When your brother's testimony just now, he said something I seemed to cause you to react. Oh, I was just remembering the old days, that's all. We used to have a right old lot together way back when. Together? Mr. Grady, you mean? Yeah, with Ash, I mean. You look at him now in his fancy whistling food and you wouldn't doubt him and wouldn't add him and eat it. But when he was younger, he was from the poor part of town just like us. Is that so? But he was always a leery one. He had the brains. He had the savvy. Always got him with smart ideas like what would never have gone through our heads. God blame me, I think the truth. Remember Milverton and Skulkin's milk run? That was a corker, eh? Saban to up to the chair. Your menacing has no place in this courtroom. Then, if that dancing dude was his name was Ashley. If Ashley was in the poor part of the neighborhood, then wouldn't he have known brickmaker Mason too? Because Mason is in the poor part too. Oi, the geezer asked a question, did he? And he was just answering. Yeah, we ain't done nothing wrong. Nevertheless, the court is not prepared to accompany you on your trip down memory lane. Counsel, can I turn our attention back to his testimony, please? I don't know. Could that sentiment of the story be relevant somehow? Add it to testimony. My lord. Yes, counsel? The brother's last sentiment statement could hold vital information relating to this case. Very well, counsel. I'll permit the brother to supplement their testimony to that detail. Briefly, I hasten to add. Say no more. Skulkin's never skulkin'.
Hold it!
I'm sure I'm gonna regret asking, but what exactly was that? Some kind of business? Just a little scheme he had going back when he was young. It's a bit of fun, really. Deliver refreshment to locals, that's what it's all about. That sounds alarmingly legitimate. There must be a catch. I suppose since you're here, I should ask them to elaborate, but on what? The business model? So, how does your little business work exactly? Well, every morning down our way, our milkman would come with us to cart deliver milk, see? If you stuck your empties outside your front door, he will leave them full again, right? So we set down in action and got people to sign up with us. We promised to deliver milk for half the price while the other geese is doing it. People couldn't wait to sign a dotted line were raking in everywhere. So, did you live on a dairy farm or something? Gordon Bennett out for a lockery had nothing, too poor to have a farm. Right. Nah, where we're going was simple was the ad idea. We just switch them over, see? Our customers empty with the full ones or anyone was on our books. A dude, alright? Dot, alright? So he stole other people's milk? I think he made a diddle, and that's a crime. It was just a harvest of fun, that's all. Milk in the general public is such a fashion is most certainly not harmless, as you put it. Well, it was what I covered the idea. Ash is the evil genius. You mean Mr. Graydon? Yeah, Ash always had in his Ennis book when he was growing up. Said he was gonna get himself an education and get out of the slum we lived in. Corey all ragged about that. Then when he told me he was stopped and everything, think it. Look at him now. He's always gone blinking communication officer, ain't he? A communications officer, Mrs. Skulkin. Show us the Wilson's milk run? No, Iris, don't even think about it. All of a sudden, we seem to be up in our necks in some serious matter, national security. Maybe I should ask about the business name, while pressing the last testimony. Okay, the business name. So this business is just a bit of fun, you say? And it was just yourselves and Mr. Graydon involved? Yeah, that's it. Milverton and Skulkin's milk run, was it? Yeah, that's it. And where did the Milverton part come from? Oh right, I thought it covered calls like yeah. Enough with this! How much longer? Oh, his voice is like the hold it! Let me guess, you don't accept anything these two witnesses are saying? Tell me, why is it that it was only at the mention of the name Milverton they decided to interject? Was the brickmaker your dad? Ashley? Because well, hold it. Weren't the Apple's homes that one came from? Yeah, his old man was struggling for money so much, his wife walked in on him. She took the name Graydon, see? But Ashley always be Milverton to us. Oh my god, the brickmaker was his frickin' dad. I mean, they look similar. Let's look at the court record here. Let's look at the people here. See, there's Ashley Graydon. He's 27. He's a communications officer. And then, we just look at the... Oh, there's no brickmaker. Whoops. Well, I'm saying that the brickmaker looks related to Ashley. So that used to be your surname, did it? Of course not. This is all bunkum. I've been a Graydon since I was born. Do you really think you rely on the testimony of these two thieves? I mean, they're your childhood friends. You're a communications officer attached to the civil service. As such, your personal details will have been thoroughly checked at the time of our appointment. It will be a very simple matter indeed to subpoena those records, Mr. Graydon. Well, it appeared that Mr. Skulkin's testimony is unreliable. For once. You were born Ashley Milverton, then. Is that correct? Very well. Yes. So Ashley Graydon was once Ashley Milverton. Then, that information changed things, and could turn out to be extremely important. Okay. Yeah, I think he's related by blood with the brickmaker. The brickmaker is his dad. Okay, let's go to the case, the McGilded case. Susato, talked about it. Yes, Mason Milverton. That is the last name of the freaking dude right here.
Objection.
Mr. Ashley Milverton. Tell me, why did you try to hide your former name for the court? Because I haven't gone by the name for years, it means nothing to me. No, I don't think that's the real explanation at all. The truth is, he had a reason to hide that name. Explain yourself, please, counsel. I have here the notes from the omnibus case, my lord. And as we all know, the victim, the man who we now understand to have been negotiating with McGilded. Yes, Mr. Mason the brickmaker? That's right, only Mason was his sure name at all. It was his given name. His full name was Mason Milverton. Milverton? Do you mean to say your saint's alive? Mr. Ashley Milverton, is it not the case that the brickmaker, Mr. Mason Milverton, was your father? I don't... As I believe I mentioned earlier, your family history have been thoroughly checked when you joined the Civil First Service, and it really would take no time at all for the court to subpoena those records. Grr. The truth is, you have been illegally acquiring highly confidential government information and selling it to McGilded in collaboration with your father. The new facts and evidence unveiled by the cross-examination of this witness all comes together to reveal the truth. The truth, you say? That you collaborated with your father, Mr. Mason Milverton, in illegal dealings with Magnus McGilded. By dint of this music box, you mean, counsel? Yes, stealing information being sent in secret government communications and selling it on to McGilded. Mr. Graydon concocted this elaborate scheme of using two music boxes to encode the information, as presumably a safety measure against the information falling into the wrong hands. And a very effective one, shouldn't have given the scheme any credits whatsoever. But the deal at McGilded went sour, and the bookmaker met his end. Yes, but before he was arrested, McGilded managed to temporarily dispose of the stolen discs at the pawnbroker. Then, having learned the situation, he appeared at Windy Banks 2 days ago in an attempt to recover the two articles McGilded had placed in pawn there. But that attempt failed. One of the discs was seized by the police, and the other he never found. So that same night, he enlisted the help of the Skulkin brothers and broke into the pawnbrokery. This time, determined to recover the second disc. Are you sure the second disc was inside the music box? Eh? We never knew nothing about that. On the night that Mr. Winniebank was killed. The intruder and pawnbroker touched one item, and one item alone, the music box. Sorry, Ginny and Dempster using two brands of security camera indeed. So, the question that naturally begs answering sis, why was that only, why was only, I'm sorry, like the words like scrabbling together. Why was only that one article disturbed? The answer is obvious because it contained the second disc, which the intruder was desperate to retrieve. Since, if it were to fall into the hands of the police, it would be proof of high treason. Well, Mr. Graydon, do you deny that all this actually began at the fateful night 2 months ago? I refuse to accept any of this nonsense. Sir. There appears to be blood seeping through the sleeve of your jacket. What? 2 nights ago, we know that 3 shots were fired at the scene of the crime when the bank's pawnbrokery. One took the life of the pawnbroker himself. One struck the pouch around Mr. Jones's waist. And the final bullet struck the calendar at the wall of the shop, having first pierced the arm of one of the intruders. Mr. Graydon, that wound in your arm that you seem to be trying to hide is a bullet wound, isn't it? He's got it now, me old China. Time to call it quits and croak, I reckon. Don't acknowledge my presence there under any circumstances whatsoever. Those are my terms, remember, and I paid your hands to me to comply. Clear was a fool to think I could trust some common backslum thieves. Fine, I admit it. I was there when he banks that night. I paid this pair 10 guineas to accompany me. And as you notice, I sustained an injury in the course of my adventures. But that is all. I admit to nothing more. Stealing government secrets, negotiating with Mr. McGilded. How are you still dancing with that wound? As God is my witness, I'm sure he called nothing of the sort. He's not going to go down in a fight, not until I can show hard evidence, I suppose. Nevertheless, the defense has now established a crucial fact. Which is... Well, we know that one bullet was fired from each of the 2 armed firearms they have in evidence. The bullet from Skulkin brother's gun hit the pouch around Mr. Jones' waist. And the bullet from Mr. Winniebank's gun clearly must have been the one that caught Mr. Graydon on the arm. Then what was the other gun? Indeed it must. You can rule out the possibility that the man shot himself. And that leads us to only one conclusion. Mr. Winniebank was shot by a third gun, which can only be fired by the third intruder. Goodness! That's right, Mr. Graydon. Grrr. The only person who possibly shot Mr. Winniebank that night is you.
Hold it!
You little upstart! You made a great mistake when you summoned me here. What was this supposed to mean? Yes, as you rightly say, I was there at the pawnbroker's. I did my best to hide the fact, naturally. I had no intention of ruining this distinguished career I built for myself at the communication station. But did the thought ever never cross your mind? Did you never consider a possibility? What do you mean? What thought? What possibility? The possibility that was there at the scene. I may witness the crucial moment. You see, this makes me a key witness in this case. I have my hands firmly around the neck of your client. What? Are you suggesting? I saw it all. I saw the very moment the pawnbroker pointed the gun at the poor defense pawnbroker and shot him. You, what? He's lying. He's obviously lying. Order! Order! Well, it will seem that we're finally entering the last act of this theatrical trial. Mr. Graydon. Yes, I trust you're fully aware of the implications here. If it is shown that your claim is false, you will have incriminated yourself as the killer. Oh, I understand fully. Then I must ask you to give your former testimony once more. You explained to court precisely what you saw at the moment the defendant allegedly shot the victim. Nothing would give me a greater pleasure. While these two ruffians and Jocelyn's broker, I was still near the entrance shop. My Winnerbake threw Nash over the counter for the sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he should have stood still. I could see him through the people in the door, though. The accused in the black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. You shot Mr. Winnerbake while he was running away. I saw the blood splatter all over the wretched girl. Then she tossed the gun at the people, so I picked it up, and made my escape. Why would you pick up the gun? Good gracious, it's quite extraordinary testimony. You claim, sir, under oath, to have clearly seen the defendant pulling the trigger. Then why did Gina have a gun in her hands when she was passed out? It wasn't my intention to testify this way. But neither is my intention to be found guilty of a murder I didn't commit. So you see, my hand is enforced. I tell the truth now as an act of self-preservation. The truth? Until now, the prosecution is completely unaware of these details. Yes, well, sorry about that. Happy shot me in the arm. The pauper was then shot in the back by the accused. And as I said, she was showered in blood. She was not. You say the blood spattered over the accused's coat? Are you sure on that point? But it wasn't. Oh yes, quite sure. All over the black overcoat that pickpocket girl was wearing at the time. She wasn't wearing the black overcoat. Really? If her coat could somehow be shown to harbor vestiges of blood, that would be the conclusive evidence here. Such an investigation is entirely possible, my lord. What? Only very recently, a German scientist has developed a technique to identify human blood. So here's the true science, not some amateur's detective dubious foray into the world of chemistry. There's nothing dubious to Pearlie's work. His ideas are sound. Okay guys, I think that'll be it for part 33 and 34 of the Great Institute Chronicles. This actually went on for a pretty long while, so my throat was like freaking dying. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.